Hey guys, welcome back inside of the Plastic Planet. I am your host, Nick Nack, hanging out with you guys today on this Friday night right up here in the Plastic Planet, where your childhood is my hood. That's right, guys, we're hanging out here tonight and we're going to be talking about something really cool that I'm looking forward to diving into. First of all, let's just talk a little bit about the kids of today. Man, kids today don't know how good they got it, man. I mean, they've got everything, don't they? They've got the World Wide Web at their fingertips. They got far cooler video games than we could ever dream about, going back to the days of 8-bit and, of course, the Atari 2600, etc. I mean, they've got their own freaking cell phones, at their disposal. When I was a kid, if I wanted to use the phone, I had to wait for my mom to get off talking long distance to her good friend Connie. And I had to wait like 90 minutes sometimes just to get on the phone. Well, they don't have to worry about that because they got their own damn phones. And they even got 24/7, 365 days a year access to the rankiest pornography in the world. No, there's no waiting for to go hang out at that one friend's house. That one friend whose dad had that big stack of penthouses and hustlers in the basement, down in the crawl space, behind the heater where he didn't think anyone knew about it. You don't have to wait for that. You can just get on your damn phone. These kids today, man, they don't know how good they have it. But one area we did have it much better than kids do, that is lunchboxes. That's right, lunchboxes. This is my son's lunchbox, I think from when he was in the first or second grade. It's this vinyl piece of crap. You could literally wad it up. I mean, granted, it doesn't rust out at the end of the school year and doesn't smell like spoiled milk as nearly as easily as ours did. But man, bring back the love. Bring back the collectability of a nice metal die-cast lunchbox, or even a plastic one with a really awesome screen graphic on the front, and of course a frickin' thermos. These don't come with thermoses anymore because they just think you're gonna buy them High C or Capri Sun, and they're not wrong. They're not wrong, but nevertheless, where's the love, guys? Where's the love? That's right, guys. Tonight we're going to be talking vintage lunch boxes. Now, I've talked vintage lunch boxes a couple times here on the Plastic Planet, and some of the boxes I'm going to be showing you guys tonight will be sort of repeats for my usual set of cadre of viewers and subscribers who tune in each and every week here to the Plastic Planet. But I do have some newer stuff to show off as well as those, and yeah, it's just going to be a really good time, guys. So, you know what, guys? Buckle up on this school bus of nostalgia, because we're going back in time when lunchboxes were frickin' awesome. Let's do it now.
Knickknacks Plastic Planet. With your host, it's Knickknack!
Alrighty, our very first lunchbox we're going to be showing off today, and I know I've showed this off before here on the Plastic Planet last fall when I got this for my birthday for my beloved wife. This is probably my favorite lunchbox that I own, and we'll just come right out with a home run right here, right out of the starting blocks. That is, of course, my Superman the movie lunchbox from 1978. Oh yes, people, you will believe a man can fly. This is an incredible looking lunchbox. The thermos is still in pretty pristine shape. Look at those graphics on there. It's just so awesome. You got Perry, you got Jimmy, you got Lois Lane. Of course, you got the Man of Steel himself. And the graphics on the lunchbox also do not disappoint. Look at those. Look at that. That's an iconic scene from Superman the movie. Everybody remembers that when the tractor fell off the hitch there, and young Superman picks it up, and the John Williams soundtrack kind of plays subtle in the background. It's just amazing. Absolutely awesome. And of course, there is the front there with the bullpen of the Daily Planet there with Jimmy Olsen and Perry and Lois Lane and Clark Kent, looking really awesome right out of the movie there. Absolutely fantastic. Of course, it wouldn't be complete without a trip to Krypton there. Look at those. Look, you got Jor-El there and little baby Kal-El there, and all the weird ass Donner inspired crystals all over there. That's really, really freaking awesome. And of course the red of the red sun there, very, very cool. And so yeah, this is a great lunchbox. Really do dig it a lot. There of course is Kal-El on his journey to Earth. Looking really cool. So anyway, yes, this lunchbox is probably my favorite. Not that this is like a top 10 list or anything. I won't spend too much more time on it because I've already showed this off on the channel. But yeah, this one is a home run from 1978 and Superman the movie. Alrighty, and staying here in the metal age, as I like to call it, the metal age of school lunchboxes. Another lunchbox I've also showed off here on the Plastic Planet at the time I received it. All these came courtesy of my wife. She is really killer at finding these on Goodwill auctions and eBay and other places. She's just a dynamo at firing up awesome vintage lunchboxes. It's one of her many talents. This is also from the Aladdin Corporation, just like that Superman lunchbox I just showed you, the Pacman from 1980. Really fun. I am sure that if you were my age, I'm 43, you probably had this or knew a kid in the first or second grade that also had this lunchbox. Looking really fun, just really kind of inspired, very much, remind you of those early video arcade days. I know I don't think there wasn't a steno pad or a Big Chief notebook or a Son of Big Chief notebook that I didn't have, where I wasn't, instead of learning the proper way to print my letters and ABCs, I wasn't instead drawing a Pac-Man maze on. So yeah, this really takes me back to those days. Really fun, very colorful, absolutely awesome. There's a little 360 of the thermos as well. Not a whole lot different from the lunchbox itself, but still really awesome. So I know I've also shown this one off, so it's a little redundant to my normal subscribers and viewers, but I don't think you guys mind too much, do ya? Yeah, that one's awesome. So there it is, the Pac-Man lunchbox from Aladdin Industries from 1980. Oh yeah. Alrighty guys, well, staying within the metal age here, here's a little something for all my my lady subscribers and viewers out there. I do love you guys so very much. Who remembers Holly Hobbie? That's right, I remember Holly Hobbie. At least I remember my sister enjoying Holly Hobbie to a certain extent. I absolutely have no idea who the hell Holly Hobbie was, but anyway, I remember her being on lunchboxes and wallpaper and whatnot back in the early 80s, late 70s. And so here is Holly Hobbie here. This lunchbox was also put out by the Aladdin Corporation. This one's a little dinged up. My wife picked this one up, I think, from Goodwill Industries auctions. It's missing the handle. It is also missing the thermos. And but yeah, it's still in really pretty nice shape. The paint's nice on it. Again, I don't really understand. I'm not a Holly Hobbie enthusiast. I can't tell you anything about it. There is a risk sometimes with buying used lunchboxes though, and that is, look at that. Ugh. I don't know what that is. That could be like 30-year-old cranberry juice in there or something. Gross. But yeah, other than that, this lunchbox is in really nice shape outside of missing that handle, but still really cool, especially if you remember Holly Hobbie. Alrighty, and continuing along those same lines, from 1973, put out by the Aladdin Industries Corporation or whatever. This is the Raggedy Ann and Andy lunchbox. Again, this is something my wife picked up from Goodwill Industries, I do believe, Goodwill auctions. Still in really pretty pristine shape. It's got the handle, unlike that Holly Hobbie lunchbox you just saw a moment ago. And this one's really kind of cool too. This does bring back memories. If you had an older sister, or maybe you own this yourself, who knows? So hopefully this stirs some inner memories inside of you. Although this is a little older. This is actually, before even my time, being this was put out in 1973, if I'm reading that print right, which is kind of hard to read the print because of this like faux fabric background they have on this metal lunchbox. Makes the print kind of hard to read, but nevertheless, here is the Raggedy Ann and Andy lunchbox. It did not come with a thermos. That was missing in action, but it's still a really pretty clean and nice looking metal lunchbox, and a fine addition to my wife's collection. So really cool, and I want to thank her for letting me borrow these couple lunchboxes to show off to you guys today. Alrighty, well, this is getting back into my sweet spot. Yet another lunchbox I've showed off here on the Plastic Planet. If you're a longtime subscriber or viewer, I believe I got this last Christmas from my beloved wife. Once again, like I said, she is the Jedi Knight of firing up vintage and gently used lunchboxes from yesteryear. And this is a fantastic piece. I do love this with all the movie stills and whatnot from The Empire Strikes Back, the greatest film ever made, in my opinion, and probably yours as well, because I know there's a reason why we're being BFFs. Yeah, this is a fantastic looking lunchbox. I really dig this one a lot. This one also did not come with a thermos. In fact, I'm not even going to open it, but it looks really, really cool. It's a little scratched up, as you would expect from a 40-year-old lunchbox, or a 39-year-old lunchbox as it would be, but next year it'll be 40. This one was also put out by the Aladdin Corporation. They seem to have had the monopoly on children's lunchboxes for like 2 decades. The Aladdin Industries did. So that's pretty impressive. I don't know if they're even still around these days. I guess I should Google them, or you guys could do that, but I don't know. And nevertheless, really, really impressive. Do dig this one a lot. Like I said, I love the studio stills. There's a little bit of artwork on here. That's a Ralph McQuarrie backdrop there, or matte painting there of Bespin with the twin cloud car. That's a Ralph McQuarrie there, but most, like I said, are studio stills and production stills. Looking really, really awesome. I love this one a lot. This one sits right up there with my Hot Toys Luke Skywalker. Absolutely awesome. Alrighty guys, well hey, if you're a person of my age, as you probably know, starting in the mid to early 80s, Lunchbox started losing something, and that's when manufacturers realized it was much cheaper to make this stuff out of plastic. And plastic was probably more durable in the long run, but you know what? Lunchboxes lost a little bit of their soul when this started happening. Nevertheless, there's still some really cool graphics on some of these, and they're definitely worth noting for their share of awesomeness and nostalgia from our childhood. This, of course, is the Return of the Jedi Wicket Lunchbox. It's dated 1983. I seem to remember this one back from like 1984. I actually made my mother drive like all over town looking for this particular lunchbox, and we never found it. So I ended up getting like an Indiana Jones one, which was probably a little cooler, honestly. But nevertheless, it was sort of cool when my wife presented this one to me that she also fired up, either from eBay or Goodwill Auctions, and I was really stoked to get it. Of course, it still comes with its awesome thermos in really, really pristine shape, looking really, really nice. Don't have to do a 360 on this, obviously, because there's nothing else to show you guys, as you probably know. This was put out by the Thermos Corporation, not Aladdin, which is a little different, which was a little bit of a changing of the guard, as it would be in children's lunchbox manufacturing from back in the day. So like I said, this was put out by the Thermos Corporation, a little bit different. But yeah, looking really, really cool, really, really fun. I do like the graphics here. Wicket's a little too cartoony for my taste, but R2 looks great on here. Yeah, fantastic. Alrighty guys, well it's time to pay a little bit of a visit of course to McDonald's Land. And of course this little faux lunchbox is of course a product from 1987 McDonald's Corporation, featuring all those awesome McDonald Land characters, including Ronald McDonald, flanked by an army of Fry Guys. And honestly, I don't know who this old balls guy is. I have no memory of him whatsoever. But nevertheless, really, really cool. This actually is not a school lunchbox, but what this is, at least, in fact, according to my wife who explained it to me, was when you had a birthday party at McDonald's, and a lot of us had birthday parties at McDonald's, including yours truly, and I don't remember this particular aspect of it, but this might have came a little later. They would bring out every kid in your birthday parties meal in one of these little tiny boxes. Of course, this would come with a cheeseburger, a small fry, probably a small cup of orange high C or orange drink would come with this, and as well as probably a small toy as well. So they would come in these little tiny boxes. It probably could double as a pencil box later on. So that's really kind of cool. I don't know, guys. I just, you know what? McDonald's Land characters sure do have a home here on the plastic planet. I think we kind of lost a little something the day Ronald McDonald died. And I know Ronald McDonald was murdered by political correctness and oh, don't sell junk food to children and blah, 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 like parents can't distinguish that from regular food, and you know, people don't have any goddamn personal responsibility anymore, so we had to murder the clown. Nevertheless, like I said, McDonald's Land has a sweet spot in my nostalgia because, well, I'll be honest with you, I have a lot of really fond memories of being at McDonald's, and maybe that's why I struggle with my weight today, but fuck you. McDonald's was awesome, and so was Ronald McDonald. F yeah. Alrighty, and time to get back into those school days lunchboxes. This, of course, is a really, really freaking awesome piece that my wife just picked up for me. And this, of course, is from 1986, the Transformers. One of my very personal favorite lines of the Transformers, which, of course, was the 1986 line, which featured characters from Transformers, the movie, and, of course, Trypticon up here in Metroplex. You got Hot Rod, there's Silverbolt, Springer, Blur, Ultra Magnus. All my favorites are on this lunchbox. That's when I really kind of got into the Transformers, right around 1986. And then, of course, check out this thermos, which is all the 1984 line on it. You got Optimus Prime, there's Prowl, Ravage, Megatron, Laserbeak, yeah, Jazz there. Absolutely freaking awesome. I don't know if this thermos actually came with this lunchbox. It may have, and that's really cool because you kind of get a little bit of both worlds there, the 84 line and the 86 line, which kind of there's a big contrast between those two lines as the toy line evolved, and so that's a really freaking awesome. I actually think I may have actually owned this particular lunchbox, and it would have been the last lunchbox I ever owned, and I think I maybe used it for like half a school year because, you know, as I was getting older, it was maybe 5th or 6th grade, you know, probably 6th grade, you know, I kind of discovered other things besides playing with toys, playing with Transformers, and that whole, like, you know, era of my initial collecting kind of died at that age because I discovered playing with Nintendo, and I discovered, you know, the 25th anniversary Sports Illustrated swimsuit magazine featuring Ellie McPherson and others, and so, you know, that whole thing kind of died at that point. But yeah, nevertheless, this is an amazing looking lunchbox. So like I said, my wife picked it up for me, and I'm really happy to have it. Yeah, that is freaking awesome. Freaking awesome. Alrighty, and last and probably least. I usually say last, but certainly not least. But yeah, last but not least, we've got a Pound Puppies lunchbox. Now, this lunchbox actually came as part of a package with that Wicket lunchbox, or that Transformers lunchbox, I should say, that we also have, that I showed off just a few minutes ago. So this Pound Puppies one came with that. And I think this is, you know, based off of the I believe that's the Pound Puppies animated cartoon, which was, I think, on Saturday mornings back in the 80s. In 1987, that would have been kind of getting out of that period of my life when I would have followed something like this. But nevertheless, here it is, the Thermos Corporation Pound Puppies lunchbox. I mean, not that I would know, you know, anything about Pound Puppies whatsoever. Pound Puppy, you were sad and lonely. Now you're mine, you're my one and only. Fuck you. Alrighty, guys, we are moving away from the age of plastic lunchboxes, and what is left is, of course, the nostalgia collectibles lunchboxes of the last, you know, 18, 19, 20 years. And I've only got a couple of those to show off to you guys, but I do have some, and these are kind of fun. Nevertheless, they're not actual lunchboxes. They're just playing off our nostalgia and you know, suckering dumbasses like me to buy it. So anyway, here's a couple for you guys right now. Alrighty, so if you want to kind of scratch that itch for a vintage collectible metal lunchboxes, but you don't want to go overboard, you don't want to collect the genuine articles because you don't want something that's all scratched, nasty, and potentially has some little fucker spoiled milk in it from 20 years ago, these are a good way to go. These, of course, are the Hallmark School Days ornamental lunchboxes. Of course, these are like a 3rd scale. If you put them up to a real lunchbox from the day, you can see they're totally pretty freaking small. But, I mean, they are really nice. They do give you a nice representation of the lunchboxes. You know, the bottoms are inaccurate, but nevertheless, you know, the graphics are primarily the same. This was a fantastic lunchbox. I never owned it, obviously, but this is a fantastic looking lunchbox. But anyway, these are a great way to scratch that itch if you're so inclined. I just checked on eBay. They can go anywhere from between, you know, $10 and $30, non-shipped. So, I mean, you know, they're not the cheapest things in the world, but they are considerably cheaper than buying the genuine article, which of course could have, you know, can be old and, you know, scraped up. And, you know, to get a really, really good vintage lunchbox like some of the ones you've seen here, especially these metal ones, especially these original trilogy ones, you're going to look at over $100 easily. Obviously, there's no thermos that comes with these. No mini thermos came with these, because that would have been a really cool idea. I tend to use mine as little mini storage for you know, for Star Wars figures and whatnot. You can put weapons in them or something. You know, they have a point. This is a lunchbox I actually had as a kid. I had this lunchbox in the 2nd grade, this Return of the Jedi lunchbox. So this one's really, really cool. Again, you know, I do love the graphics on it. The artwork is amazing. And, you know, they do capture the originals really, really nicely at a price that's, you know, a lot more affordable, and you know at least what you're getting when you order it. Because, like I said, when you order any of these you know, the genuine article, these vintage lunchboxes, you really don't know what you're going to get. And, you know, and not until you get it in hand and open up that thermos and give it a little bit of a sniff do you know exactly what you're getting. But with these, you know, because I mean, they're a collector item, and they're, you know, they were never actually used for food storage. So that's a good thing. Alrighty, and the very last lunchbox I have to show off to you guys is beyond modern. It's actually available right now at Target stores. This was put out by the Funko Corporation, of course, the same corporation which has cursed us with pops everywhere. But nevertheless, this is a really cool lunchbox. It very much is reminiscent of the old Topps collector cards from back in the day. And the artwork's really, really nice on it. I really kind of dig this a lot. It's a great looking lunchbox, even though it's really not really a lunchbox. It's just more of an ornamental piece. But, you know, it is like a 1:1 scale. Here it is next to yet another. Here it is next to that Pacman lunchbox. So it's about the same size roughly as what an original metal lunchbox would be. So yeah, really, really cool. Like I said, like the artwork. Very much inspired by the Topps collector cards. Yeah, that's looking pretty freaking awesome. Looks nice on a shelf. And again, no funky smells with this one either. Although it's not quite authentic. And I do like it because it's a little raised in places. It's got some texture. Very, very nice piece. You know, and it's kind of plain on the tops and the bottoms, but the sides and the front and backs are really, really nice. So yeah, that's a lot of fun. And it's available right now at Target. I think I paid $11 for mine, $10. So yeah, that's fun. Well, alrighty guys, well that's going to wrap up this edition of the Plastic Planet. I hope you've enjoyed this little bit of a tour of my wife and I's vintage lunchbox collectibles. Hey, if you want to see even more vintage lunchboxes, even more than the ones featured here, and some sizably, remarkably older pieces at that, go back and visit the Disney Roundup video I did, I think it was back in December. I'll leave the link to that. It'll be in this card right here. Go back and check out that. I show off a lot of my wife's older Disney lunchboxes. We got stuff from Davy Crockett, Mickey Mouse, some really, really cool stuff with that video as well. So go back and check that out. If lunchboxes, vintage lunchboxes are your thing, got even more coolness on that vid. So check that one out as well. All right, guys, well, that's going to wrap up this edition of the Plastic Planet. Please like, share, comment. Please do subscribe if you're not a subscriber. We really love to have you here each and every week right here on the Plastic Planet, where we have a damn good time talking about vintage toys, collectibles, modern premium items such as Hot Toys and Sideshow, Star Wars, Transformers, DC collectibles, and so much more. So yeah, hit that subscribe button. And if you don't want to miss a single episode the moment it drops, hit that bell as well, so you'll be in the know whenever there is fresh Plastic Planet to be had. Alright guys, like I said, it's going to wrap things up. And like I always like to say, guys, life is so very, 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 very short. So get out there, guys. Get out there and fill it with some plastic crap. Or some vintage tin, like this. Frickin' awesome, right? Right? Yeah, alright. Alright guys, later. Love ya. Bye. That's right. Shit. That's right, lunchboxes. Here is my son's lunchbox. This, I think, was... No. Can't do anything. Doesn't it look like they're kind of like digging up a giant corpse there? I mean, you know, I know it's a bone and, you know, dogs dig up bones and stuff, but I don't know. My more darker, cynical adult side of me says they buried a human being there. In a cold grave in a back alley.